Now calculate. This guy for me. Okay, now let me write down the answer on board. So for this guy, we replace the x by -1. Okay, replace this x by -1, we're gonna have. Okay, replace this x by -1. So when you plug in the negative number, you'd better use the parentheses, right? So here x squared gonna be a parentheses -1 square, and here's x is -1. Use the parentheses. If you don't use parentheses, it's gonna be like that, right? If you don't use parentheses, it's gonna be a -3 minus 1, gonna be a -4, right? So how can you tell whether it's multiplication or subtraction? You can't tell, right? So use the parentheses, gonna help you to understand that is multiplication, -3 times -1. So -1 times -1 gonna be 1, right? -3 times -1 is 3. That is fine. Okay. B. Try to calculate this guy for me. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at these problems. Um, here, fx is what? Is this guy, right? Fx is this guy. And the point is how to calculate these, the second term, that is f negative 2, how to calculate the f negative 2, right? So what we're going to do is here, x, replace the x by negative 2, right? So we have 2, negative 2, negative 3, negative 2. Right, just plug in the x with the negative 2. So we have what? We have 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, negative 3 times negative 2, 6. Okay, now we can plug in. Fx is 2x squared minus 3x. We just copy it, right? Copy it. And for subtract what? 14. Right? That's it. That's it. Now the point is, what is 2fx? How to calculate the 2fx? All very similar. 2fx, you know, fx is what? 2x squared minus 3x, right? So when you plug in the fx, be careful, it's the whole thing. Okay, so we need put a parenthesis here because fx represents the whole expression, 2x squared minus 3x. So when you plug in, you need to put the whole terms or the whole expression and put the parenthesis there, okay, parenthesis here, and represent the fx, okay. Then you can use distribution. We have 2 times 2, 4x squared. 2 times 2, negative 3 going to be negative 6. Right? Now I want you guys to try negative 3 fx. Okay, let me do it on board. -3 times what? Plug in, gonna be the distribution, right? -3 times 2x squared plus -3 times -3x. Okay, so -3 times 2x squared, -3 times -3x. And -3 times 2, -6. -3, -3, 9x. Okay, that's it. Now, how to calculate this guy? F2x. How to calculate F2x? The point is very similar. Don't be scared of 2x. Here's a 2x, right? And here's an x. That means what? Replace this x by 2x. Replace this x by 2x. Replace this x by 2x. That's it. Let's take a look. Replace this 2x, this x by 2x. Replace this x by 2x. Use the parentheses, okay? Because represents the whole expression. So when you plug in the 2x, this is parentheses, okay? And plug in the 2x, use the parentheses, okay? So 2 times 2x squared. This x becomes 2x. This x becomes 2x, okay? Very similar like we did before. Just replace, previously we replaced the x by a number. Now we replace the x by variables, 2x, okay, 2x. Very similar. Now let's do it again. 2x times 2x, the 2x squared gonna be 2x times 2x gonna be 4x squared, right? And 3 times 2, 6x, gonna be 8x squared minus 2x. Okay. Now I want you guys to try the F3x. Okay, same thing, let me do it. So we have what? Replace this x by 3x. Okay, so we plug in the 3x. So 2 times 3x squared minus 3, 3 times what? 3x. Okay, the idea very simple. Replace this x by 3x, replace this x by 3x. Alright, so we have 3x squared minus 3 times 3x. When you plug in 3x, be careful. You need to put parentheses. Otherwise, you probably will not do the square for the whole thing. So you just do the square for the x. Okay, so put the parentheses going to help you to avoid any kind of error. Okay. So here 3x squared gonna be 3x times 3x. Will be 9x squared. Negative 3 times 3, 9x. Okay, so 18x squared minus 9x. Now, I want you guys to try this one for me. F negative x. Okay, F negative x. Let's take a look. Let's go. So F negative x. F negative x gonna be what? Very similar. So here's x, right? So replace the x by negative x. Okay, replace this x by negative x. Replace this x by negative x. So we're gonna get negative x squared. Okay, when you plug in the negative x, always use the parentheses. Okay, use the parentheses means the whole expression. The whole expression. Okay, and negative 3 times negative x. Okay, negative 3 times this x is negative x. Okay, plug in the negative x, use the parentheses. So we have what? So here, negative x times negative x. Okay, negative x squared gonna be x squared. Negative 3 times negative x, negative, negative, positive, right? Now let's try the this one. Okay, this one. Okay, now let me do it. Very similar like the previous example. I will just replace the x by negative 2x. And then negative 2x times negative 2x is going to be 4, negative 2, 4x squared. Negative 3, negative 2, 6x. Okay. Now, how to calculate x plus 1. Okay. So now, what you're going to do is replace x by x plus 1. Okay. Try it again. So this time, you're going to replace the x by x plus 1. Okay, guys, please type your full name in the chat. I want to check your attendance, please. Thank you. Type your full name in the chat, okay? Okay, now let me do it on board. For these problems, the principle is very similar. Just replace that x. Replace this x by x plus 1. Okay, this 2x by x plus 1. That's what we got. And of course, when you plug in x plus 1, you always use the parentheses, right? And that's what we got. Okay. So for x plus 1 square, what are you going to do? Just spread it, right? X plus 1 square going to be x plus 1 times x plus 1, right? That's very straightforward. Now you can use the distribution. And then we have 2x times x going to be a square, x times 1 going to be x, 1 times x going to be x, 1 times 1 is 1. And here is the distribution. Negative 3 times x, negative 3 times 1. Okay. Here is x times x, x squared. X times 1 is x. 1 times x is x. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay. Negative 3x, negative 3. Negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. So distribution, 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. And again, you can see this guy combined together. 4x minus 3x, x, 2 minus 3. Okay, so the answer gonna be 2x squared plus x minus 1. I want you guys try this one for me. F x plus 3. Okay. Okay, I cannot write down the answer on board. So plug in the x plus 3 square. That's the expression. That's the first step. Always put a parenthesis there because that represent the whole expression, right? So we have what? Now distribution. X times x squared. X times 3x. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. Here is negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Okay. Here we can continue to simplify it. Distribution 2x squared, 2 times 6, 12x, 2 times 9, 18. And 12x subtract 3x gonna be 9x plus 9. Okay, that's it. That's it. Now, today we're gonna learn some different. How to find a domain for given function, a function. If I give you a function, how to find the domain of the function? Okay, so let's take a look. The find the domain of a function. We have 3 scenarios. The first scenario is denominator never be 0. If fx is a fraction, denominator okay, and the second thing is nth root, and with the n is even. That means what? That means a is always greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Otherwise, the domain gonna be all real numbers. Otherwise, okay. So I give you guys the general idea about the domain. We have 3 scenarios. Yes, we have the fraction. We have the fraction for the function fx. That means the denominator doesn't equal 0. Or we have nth root and n is even. Then everything inside the root gonna be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, otherwise gonna be all real numbers. You can write that as interval format, gonna be negative infinity to infinity for all real numbers. Okay. Now, let's take a look. The first case. Find the domain for this guy. Okay, so let's take a look. the fx function, that is fraction. That is a fraction, and as we know, in the denominator we have function x minus 1, right? So that means what? That means x minus 1 doesn't equal 0. That's the first scenario. Denominator never be 0. So x minus 1 doesn't equal 0. And then we can solve it. Plus 1 for both sides, we can get x doesn't equals 1. Okay. And if my math lab requires the set format, you can write down it this way. There's a set format, okay? And my math lab requires the interval format. What are you gonna do? Draw the picture. We doesn't equals 1, right? So we have this part and this part. So it's a negative infinity 1 union 1 infinity. Okay. Example 2. Calculate the domain for me. Please try it by yourself. All right. So let us do it together. It's very similar to the last example because here we have fraction. That means denominator never be 0, right? So this guy will give you x never equals 3, right? Plus 3 for both sides. You're gonna get x doesn't equal 3. And the set format is this guy, right? And the interval format on your my lab math or my math lab, you can draw your picture, right? 3, that is circle. So there's two parts. It's negative infinity, 3 union, 3 infinity, right? Okay, so Let's try another one. Think about it. Now the denominator is x squared minus 1. Okay, this is the whole thing. Try it by itself. Okay, so let me do it on board. X minus 1 doesn't equal 0. Right? How to solve this guy? Any idea? Add what? Good job, good job. You did a very good job. Add 1 for both sides. We're gonna get x squared equals doesn't equals 1, right? Like that. X squared doesn't equals p, right? If x squared equals p, what's the root? We learned that from the quadratic function or quadratic equation, how to solve the quadratic equation, right? So how to solve this guy? What is the root or what's, how to solve this guy? X squared doesn't equal 1. What's the root? What's the root? X squared doesn't equals 1. What's the root?
Should it still be x? Should be x. X is not equal to 1.
X not equals 1. What else? You guys forget everything, I'm pretty sure. Positive and negative, right? Yeah, you guys forget it. We learned a long time ago. So x squared equals p, x equals what? Right, that's a formula we learned before. So for this guy, doesn't equals what? Doesn't equals positive or negative 1, right? Is that clear? Okay, very good, very good. So for math, And another format is going to be the interval format. So we can draw the picture. We have this part. We have this part. Right. So we have three parts from the x-axis. So negative infinity, -1. These two doesn't include it. So we have union. Three parts, right? We have two break points. So totally 1, 2, 3, three parts. 1, 2, 3. Example 4. Domain. Try this one for me, okay?
Is it x doesn't equal 3 or -3?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Good job. Good job. Okay, let me write down the answer. 2x squared minus 18 doesn't equal 0. Add 18 for both sides, divided by 2 for both sides, you're gonna get, okay? And then you get this formula. So we can get the these two, right? And the interval format, be careful, interval format, we have two breakpoints, right? So basically this part, this part. We have three parts, right? Three parts. So we have union -3, 3, union infinity. Okay, that's it. Now, let's try another one. Don't find. What is the domain of this guy? So that is a typical example of the second scenarios, because here is the square root, right? N equals 2, right? N is even. So that means everything inside of the square root gonna be positive or non-negative, okay? Non-negative. So the whole thing should be greater than or equals 0 based on the second scenario, right? A greater than or equal to 0. The same thing. Okay, so basically here what we're gonna do is to solve the inequality. How to solve it? Subtract 4 for both sides, right? Cancel out. Negative 3x greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, so now be careful. Here we need to divide by negative 3 for both sides. Then we need to change the sign. Be careful, change the sign. Because we divide by the negative number. So what are we gonna get? We're gonna get the set is this guy. And the interval should be like that. So we should be because that 4 over 3 is included. That means we're gonna use the square bracket. Okay, square bracket. Now I want you guys try another one by yourself. Find the domain. Okay, very similar like previous example. Here the square root, right? So that means 1 minus 2x greater than or equals 0. Right? To solve this inequality, and subtract 1 for both sides, we're gonna get, right? Subtract 1 for both sides, we're gonna get this guy. and divided by negative 2x. And be careful when you divide by negative number, change the sign. X. Okay, so the format, all you can write down is okay. Now draw the picture. Okay, please draw the picture. It's like that. Okay, that's it. That's it. Now I have a question. What is the what is this guy? What's the domain for this guy? What is the domain for this guy? Any idea?
Like, it's not equal to
Does here have the fraction?
not right
Does
now.
here have a square root? So otherwise, gonna be what? The third scenario. The domain gonna be all real numbers. Okay, because here we don't have what? We don't have fraction. We don't have fraction. We don't have a square root. So that means all real numbers. Or you can write down as interval format. That's it. Right? And how about this guy? What's the domain for this guy? Or whatever function like that. What is the domain for this guy? Fx equals 2x plus 1 divided by 3. What's the domain? What is the domain? Who can tell me?
X is not equal to 30.
X not equal to 3. Here, the denominator doesn't have any x, right? So
It's
So-
all real numbers again, right?
yeah, all real numbers. And the x should be infinite, negative infinity. Okay, the fraction here denominator, although he has a fraction, but here is nothing to do with the x denominator, right? It's a 3. So denominator already non-zero. That's nothing to do with the x. Okay, nothing to do with the x. So that means here should be negative infinity and infinity. Okay, that's a very, very special case. It belongs to scenario, the last scenario. Otherwise, okay, otherwise. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up class here. I think I don't have enough time to continue the left materials. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up class here. Thank you for coming. Have a nice day. Okay, please finish. Please start your homework as early as possible. Thank you. Have a nice day.